Cory Bernardi, welcome.
Thanks very much, Chris. Good to be with you.
The Australian government is looking at taking another 12,000 refugees from Syria under this special humanitarian program. There's been some discussion about what kind of mix that will be. Are you concerned that there will be too many Muslims in that mix?
Well, Chris, I supported the initial decision because it was going to be targeting persecuted minorities. But I do think that Cabinet now needs to reconsider the decision to take in 12,000 additional refugees on the basis of evidence that's come to light over the last week or so. Firstly, we know that a number of people claiming to be refugees have used the same falsified documents to enter Europe. We also know that the FBI in America has said they cannot effectively screen or vouch for the bona fides of those claiming to be refugees because there is no database, that there is a plethora of fraudulent and falsified documents, and you can't exactly go into Syria to prove up the backstory. Now, if they can't do that, and we know that the UN is also making the determination about who's coming here, then I think Cabinet needs to reassess our decision.
Scott Morrison has said this morning that the people who are coming here will get greater checks than anyone who comes to the country. So that's not sufficient enough for you?
Well, let's look at the American example. The FBI there have said that they cannot vouch for the bona fides of individuals. And in our previous refugee intake, we've had examples where people who have been accepted as refugees have gone on to commit terrorist acts or planned terrorist acts in this country. Now, why do we think that suddenly this is going to be any different? The other point I'd make is this, that Australia is a sovereign nation and we offer to help out in a humanitarian program. But what we've effectively been told is that the UNHCR, a bunch of unelected bureaucrats, are going to make the determination about who is going to be sent to Australia or not. And a lot of the most persecuted minorities in the Middle East, the Jews, the Christians, the Yazidis, don't even go to the UNHCR camps. They don't register there because they're afraid, they're scared for their lives by the Muslim communities that are there.
So what are you saying, that the Australian government should now take no more refugees, or it should take a smaller number of refugees and that they should only be Christians?
I do believe that we should be reassessing our humanitarian refugee intake and the decision to take an additional 12,000. There are many places in the Middle East where Muslims can feel safe, firstly. The persecuted Christian minorities, many of whom are not registered in the UNHCR camps, are prohibited from effectively accessing our service because they're not registered in UNHCR camps. So I think we've got to target those much more specifically, and in the absence of being able to determine who comes to this country and prove their backstory effectively, I think we've got to put a stop to it.